Weaver first opener, and then Luna silencer. This is a little bit different than what we've been seeing leading up to this qualifier. I mean, if you think about it, it was Ember Spirits were usually in the first couple picks. Lone Druid still banned, no great change there. But the silencer first phase, this has sort of been that Russian classic. And Puppy playing it a lot as well in the 4 position more often than not. Do you think that there's any chance that it goes anywhere else, or do you like silencer in the 4 position?
I love silencer position 4. We saw Secret playing it as a mid hero as well. But I still think position 4 you get the same thing just a little bit later in silencer. He does the same thing, just it kicks in a bit later.
Yeah, well, it will be quite effective against a lot of these heroes as well. I mean, particularly Weaver, if you're able to get that initiation off on him. It's not a hero that generally wants to build into things like a Lotus Orb or like a Manta style to get away from it. So that's going to be something that's kind of tough. Is that something that they're going to need to get other defensive supports to help the Weaver out in that regard? Or what's the answer for Global Silence for Weaver?
Nope, just a BKB. She can skip, if it's not needed, she can skip Lincoln Sphere, which Chinese players love to do, especially burning if it's needed, and in this case it's needed. So BKB, maybe some region item, maybe even get an urn or just a bottle into Desolator and then switch to BKB. Then you can just remove silence. They don't have any single target spells that are hard to dodge or deal so much damage. I mean, Lucent Beam plus double edge, but still Lincoln Sphere just not that great against it. It's still better to have a BKB.
Okay. Yeah, and Centaur Warrunner now also going to get taken. It is obviously another great hero that you can combo together with that Global Silence. You pop the Stampede, Global, and just run at fools. It would be a great little combination there to get a fight going, not to mention if Luna's running in with an Eclipse going. So all in all, it feels like Effect just have a strong team fight-oriented lineup, being able to steamroll through their opponents. And Vega Squadron, I guess that they're also, like, can they formulate the rest of their draft to find those same things? It feels like Ogre and Dazzle don't really do a lot in the team fight, kind of.
Yeah, until, let's say, Dazzle gets Guardian Greaves, which is pretty hard for him, it's going to be easy initiation for Team Effect. Once you pick up Silencer, you need a good initiation hero, something like a Batrider, something like a Centaur, which they have, so you can just control the fight easily. Just blink in, stun, global, kill 1, maybe 2, and then just keep fighting. But the Vega needs a mid hero who can build into a BKB later on, that's for sure.
Okay. Vega, dude. Well, we'll see what that ends up being. Dragon Knight kind of comes to mind a little bit. Might be a little bit strange this patch. Haven't seen a ton of them. But in the meantime, I'm also wondering, do they need to send somebody Effect into the offlane to help facilitate that Centaur Warrunner's farm early? Or can he deal well enough with this, what's looking like could be at least a dual lane with Weaver Dazzle?
Yeah, well, Centaur is gonna get farm anyway. A solo Dazzle can't just out-harass Centaur. But usually what we see, Centaur starts in Forest with Iron Talon, Tangos, just keeps farming a bit, level 2, level 3, and then uses a Shrine, comes back to a lane with Stout Shield, maybe even Boots, depends what he farms.
Okay, so he should have a relatively decent time there. Sounds good. Is there anything that you're seeing in the draft that you really like or dislike from either team, or do you think it's still pretty wide open and everybody's pretty comfortable?
So far, I like Effect's draft more because they pretty much have everything in it so far. We'll see. Well, I love the Silencer pick. I love to play it for quite long as that position 4/roaming support, and I'm surprised no one hasn't picked it yet until Puppy started to pick it, because that hero is super strong.
Okay. Yeah, he's quite a difficult one to deal with, and also just being able to harass out the offlaner on occasion. Glaives of Wisdom are nothing to be trifled with. It's a hell of a lot of damage. So Shadow Fiend going to be the 4th pick for Vega Squadron. That still leaves open a support for Effect, and what I'm assuming is going to be the offlaner for Vega. Anything stick out to you as something you'd really like to see here?
Well, judging how Russian teams play, they love to play Bet Rider with Ogre Magi on off lane, just try to harass, deny as much possible farm as they can for the enemy carry. So I think it might be a Bet Rider.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. And then Effect, likewise, they're in a little bit of a strange position because they have Luna, Centaur, Warrunner, and Sven as their cores. I think that we did see something weird like a Centaur position for the other day, but I feel like that's just not really viable at this point. Who do you think is going to be running mid for Effect?
It might be it might be a Sven support, for example. They just needed something to counter that minus armor coming out from Shadowfiend and Weaver. That's one option. Or they can put Luna mid, but it's not good against Shadowfiend. So I still expect Effect to pick a mid hero.
Okay. Well, they did end up banning out the Leshrac, so don't want to have to deal with that. We'll have to see how well this Sven, what we're thinking now is going to end up being a support, ends up playing. It's kind of interesting, too, because you have two really great AoE stuns then. You've got Stormhammer as well as the Hoof Stomp, and you layer those in on top of each other. Suddenly, Centaur Warrunner might have a better initiation than he would otherwise. So, very, very cool opening here for Effect. And Vega Squadron, thinking the Bat Rider.
Bat Rider, or I don't know, something with mech carrier. We haven't seen much of a Tide, but it might be the option to fight through a mid game when they initiate. Guardian Greaves Tide, just use Ravage. That's one of the options. Okay. Even though Tide is not so great of a hero, in my opinion, this doesn't do well in the laning phase.
Yeah. We did see him played a little bit recently. I think that he was in one of the Bears versus Liquid games, and then I think also one of the American games as well. I'm not sure about that, though. But it's just going to be the Axe, so another big tanky initiator.
Yeah, Axe, good counter initiation. Well, he's also a BKB carrier later on, maybe after a Blade Mail, so that's one option. After that global silence is popped, and with Blade Mail he deals a lot of damage to Sven and Luna.
Wow.
Okay, Bane.
So is this going to be then that mid silencer like we saw Secret play? Is that kind of what you're thinking, or is mid Bane a thing now? I don't know. It used to be, right?
Yeah, long ago. Oh, let me check. Well, let's just see. I don't want to sound stupid. I just want to see who's going to play it.
Well, I never worry about sounding stupid, so I'm going to say it's a Bane mid. We'll just end up coming back to that in a little bit. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 1, Effect facing off against Vega Squadron, DAC 2017. And let's hop into it as we play the little bumper that's great for production value.
I'll throw something out. Maybe it's a Bane and Centaur combo on off lane. They work really well together. Just sleep, stun, double edge, brain sap, and that's a lot of damage.
All right.
We'll see how they want to do it.
Let's take a look. Our Zeke is going to be playing it, and this is going to be a Phone Ninja who's going to head towards the mid lane. So it is going to be a mid silencer. It's kind of interesting to me. I feel like he tends to play very mobile heroes, and Silencer is not really that. Whenever I think of him, I think of his Puck, and then I guess his Shadow Fiend too, so that's maybe something with it. But Ogre going to block off that camp. Does look like they were able to spot it, and that should be taken away rather rapidly.
Yeah, when you play Silencer, you want to be where the action is. So if you get kills or just be there, you get the extra intelligence. So I expect a lot of people coming on a mid lane. Yeah, it is a support Sven, as I mentioned, to just counter that minus armor. And it's going to be... Yeah, Bane is going to be on top because the Sven can't harass anyone on the lane.
Huh. And so we're seeing the boots first with a clarity for Sven. Not often a item build that you end up seeing. Well, what's the main role of this Sven in the game? What's going to be his aim for either items or just role?
He will just try to be aggressive, get some early kills, and I expect them to switch to mid lane pretty fast, get some smoke gank, try to help Silencer and get him some early intelligence.
Roger again rolled down a little bit. They do have Sakuchi if they want to chase this. Might even be able to come in and steal the bounty rune. Ditya takes it away, so that's going to be 2 for effect, 2 for Vega, but our Zeke also going to get ran down. Brain Sap trying to keep it low. Not going to happen. Ditya finds the kill.
He might have gone for Nightmare and just tried to deny himself. That was one of the options.
Yeah. Brain Sap taken. I guess the plus side of this is that you have it to zone, but it's, yeah, a tough one, definitely. Well, mid lane, G facing off against Afro Ninja. How do you feel like this lane ends up working out for the Silencer?
Well, we see a Soneko already being here, bullying the Silencer, so giving Shadowfiend that extra damage on the start will grant him a good few next minutes for sure. Didn't start well for them because Bane died, and what Effect tried to do was focus the Shadowfiend in the early stages, but he died, and their top lane... I mean, Vega's lanes are placed correctly. They have Axe against melee hero, which is always great. Against Centaur, he's just gonna free farm, got a Quelling Blade, and their top lane is pretty much unkillable.
Well, a great start, definitely. And actually, Sashla taking a good bit of damage here as well. He's going to have to back out a little bit. You can also see there the Ogre just taunting Afro Ninja in the middle lane, allowing him to right-click away with impunity. And meanwhile, the top lane can Effect find kills in this one against like Sioma here. Is this a chance for a kill at least?
Yeah, they do have a chance. Dazzle still doesn't have a grave, so yeah. By the way, look at the set on Dazzle. This is like my favorite thing in Dota 2, I think. Cosmetic. Soneko, meanwhile, killing mid.
Yeah, they dove there. I do love this set. For a while, I thought it was one of the perfect world sets, but I think it's actually one that you can just get regularly through any of the other servers. Well, a great start mid.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shadowfiend plus 18 damage. Silencer's gonna struggle. They need the rotation to mid to actually help him out right now, because G has boots advantage plus half of the bottle price.
God, and you look at it, 11 and 10 versus the 2 and 2, just complete domination. Top lane, maybe they can make something happen here, but Roger is also going to get gone upon, and well, they're not going to be able to kill off the courier. Roger does look to be able to walk away. Well, Fire Blast, another right click. He has a lot of minus armor on him. He is going to drop. Ditya picks up that kill as well. 2-0-0 start. He has only gotten 4 last hits.
Yeah, Shrek picked up Arcane Rune, so yeah, it was an easy kill. If he didn't have it, he would probably survive.
I like that naming, by the way. That's great. Well, Soneko, maybe they can pull one back the other direction. The heal bomb comes out. They throw out the Lucent Beam, trying to find the kill. They do find it. Sidoi also going to take some damage here, but, well, might end up paying for this one. Ditya runs through. They find the Lucent Beam. Oh, good sentry placement down, trying to get him, but Ditya hiding away in the trees is actually going to be able to walk away. No, he dies to the tower. Oh, man.
Bottom lane, kind of even. X tries to push the lane, just harasses Centaur, try to get in range to use that counter helix on him. Centaur backs off, then just creeps the wave, and pretty much the same CS on both sides.
Well, and it looks like Sidoi, who left alive on 10 HP, is going to head over, use this shrine, and that should allow him to get back in towards there as Mag. Well, I'm going to take some more damage there as well, but yeah, you mentioned relatively even, 18-2 versus 17-2, and we'll see how that ends up working out. The big story is just, of course, G here in the mid lane is dominating Afro Ninja, and it feels like they can't really rotate anybody out. Vega is just punishing the safe lane as it is.
Yeah, they're putting the pressure on a safe lane, so Shadowfiend can do his thing. They even got 1 kill on Silencer, which is pretty huge right now. Look at Shadowfiend, plus 24 damage, level 5, against only 6 CS on Silencer.
It's a tough life indeed. Is this a hero that can catch back up Silencer through fighting or farming, or what's his recourse here?
Well, the hero doesn't flash farm, so they need to start killing people, so he steals some intelligence, just get some items. I'm wondering what his build is gonna be, probably something into power treads, or maybe that's a second null talisman, might be Veil. I've done that with position 4 Silencer, which I think is really awesome, but he still need that 4 staff earlier. So maybe just switches later on into Veil.
Dire scanning there, realizing that Shadow Fiend was farming over at the Ancients. I guess that just gives them some information that people were heading over there. But now a smoked up Roger had already placed down, well, it wasn't actually placing that ward, I guess just trying to wrap around and see what he could find. And it's going to head back to lane. What's the sort of goal right now for Effect? Is there anything in mind, or is it just try and get out of this disastrous laning stage?
And now their tri lane is pretty strong. They even have a Centaur ulti. Yeah,
jump in. They get it. They also have the Nightmare onto Ditchia Ra, but no follow-up stun. 7-second cooldown still for that one. So good use of that ultimate from Centaur.
Yeah, they have a nice lockdown with Sleep, Brain Sap, Stun, and Lucent Beam. They have enough magical damage plus a few right clicks to take down pretty much anyone.
Oh, and Sashlo maybe in some trouble here. Can they actually chase him down? Needs 1 or 2 more spins. Healing Bomb not quite there, and was able to get a spin a bit too late before he could get the dunk off, though. So Mag just forced back.
They're kind of swapping the lanes right now. Ditcha being on the bottom. He just wants to be sure he can get the items in the next few minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense. And has been able to have, I mean, a decent time in terms of putting harassment there onto the Luna, but it's still a little bit behind in terms of the amount of CS that he's been getting. So that could be a concern, as it looks like Luna's going to head into that Helm of the Dominator build that we've seen so often. And well, I'm kind of interested to see what the Bane is going to provide to the team this time around as the smoke gank comes in. And, well, we'll run into a couple heroes, maybe? Arcane Curse? No, they back out.
Bane, during when he gets his ulti up, is probably gonna be used on Shadow Fiend. But I mentioned during the pick phase that Weaver might not go for a Lincoln Sphere. She should go for one, probably right now, because there's Bane, Sven-stun. There's a lot of single target spells, so she can remove with Lincoln Sphere, but she still needs a BKB in the later game, probably.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. You have to go for those dual defense items. I mean, even something as simple as the last word can be really frustrating to deal with, particularly before that BKB comes online. But so far, the net worth lead, relatively even across the board. They're going to stun Snako here, get the Arcane Curse down as well, but the Fire Blast and Walk Away should ensure his survival. Ogre Magi is pretty hard to take down, it looks like.
Yeah, he's high armor, 8 starting armor, plus has 1 extra right now on the level 4. What do we see? Centaur getting really close to the Blink Dagger, only 1k away. Something we don't see very often. It's maxing Hoof Stomp against a melee hero. He just wants to be sure that he knows he can't kill Axe, so it's like more a safe play to go for that one.
That's really interesting. I like seeing the pro players mix this up a little bit. Does this really hurt his ability in the mid game to get effective with damage, though, or do you think it's okay?
No, it's still fine because he will get a lot of levels still, especially if he gets a kill. He's not gonna be in any team fights until he gets his Blink Dagger. By then he will have double edge level 3. Maybe even level 4, so still fine.
Good stuff there, as Sadoy and as well as Roger were heading in to try and test Mag for a moment, but spotting out another hero and then also Mag fogging them away meant that they couldn't end up diving for that Eclipse play that I'm sure would have loved to be able to find a kill there. So those 3-3 still the score. CS dominated still by this Shadow Fiend. In your eyes, what's the best way to take advantage of this much of a lead for G? Is it group up with your team, or is it try and double down on more farming items? What's the big play that you can make as a Shadow Fiend here?
Well, he'll just try to continue farming because that hero just flash farms, kills the whole wave in 1 second with 2 raises, and just switches to forest. Has a TP if any team fight comes. There's still tier 1 towers up, so he can TP wherever he likes. So he'll just continue farming.
Okay. I see Roger getting himself a little bit as well. Obviously, taking the Stormhammer and Warcry and the support Sven role. Would love to be able to give his team that extra boost in armor to deal with all the right clicks that are coming in. It's part of the reason why I like Axe as a last pick for Vega here because, you know, you have a way to deal damage outside of just physical output, which is something that maybe they were a little bit lacking before that pick.
Yeah, well, X, pretty much the same hero as a Centaur, and pretty much they have the same amount of farm. Centaur a bit leading in that terms. He's gonna have Blink Dagger in the next 30 seconds. X needs 500 gold still. So not much kills this early game, but once their offlaners get daggers, I expect a lot of actions to happen.
Absolutely. Does look like Weaver now is going to be going back for the Dragon Lance. Nobody really interested in trying to pressure any of these heroes as they just farm up their first couple sets of items, but Blink Dagger Gold is there for Sashlo, has not actually picked it up, so kind of an interesting time for a Smoke Ink. I guess it's just a Nightmare Initiation?
Oh, we'll see. They got it. He has a Blink Dagger Gold, but he is nowhere near the shop. He's gonna bring it with the courier from the side shop. Yeah.
Oh, is this going to be spotted though? Doesn't look like they realize it happened. The vision was not there. So Sashlo going for the initiation now. Can they find Sioma? It'd be a good hit to get him. And there's the hoof stomp. But look at the fire blast. There's the global silence as well. They run him down. And well, still Nightmare. Sioma is going to actually be able to live through this, I believe. So a little bit of an awkward one. It ends up coming out.
He tried to get both with the stun, focus Dazzle first, of course, because Dazzle has a grave, but there was a little bit of miscommunication, I think. Bane was a bit too far, Centaur ult came a little bit too late, and they had to use both Global and Centaur ult. Meanwhile, I've noticed something. Well, Luna went for the Helm of the Dominator, it's still the best build for her in the early game. Okay. Mid.
Yeah,
check the mid, 2 kills.
It's a pretty quick and easy one. Well, what's the weird thing about the Luna build here?
Yeah, the Dominator got nerfed a bit. They removed 2 stats from plus attributes, and she didn't went for that purge creep, or she couldn't find it.
Oh.
The bullshit creep we were talking about. That one got nerfed as well. Thank God. It was so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a very frustrating one to deal with. Definitely, they will get the D ward there as well. And you know, the other thing that ended up happening those past couple seconds was they found 2 kills in the mid lane. Shadow Fiend going down. So, well, while Luna's up there farming away, he ends up dying. Feels like it maybe could be a bit of a comeback. But Axe has the Blink Dagger, waiting for the push. Doesn't look like it's going to come though.
Yeah. Well, I have to apologize for some bad words I'm using. Well, I always use those when I'm talking about some imbalanced stuff, so they fixed it now, and I'm not gonna mention it anymore. Meanwhile, they try to go on a Dazzle. Oh, he got the grave off, but still, it's gonna be dead Dazzle.
They traded off. They are going to be able to find that kill, and well, G looking for a bit more. The rest of them are coming in, though. Here comes the Eclipse. G already dropped low and going to die. Snako as well, getting ran down, but Mega's there to keep him back. Dichiara also going to get caught by the Fiend's grip. Oh, well played, and he is going to fall for that. So they take down 2 very high-priority kills. Great play right now from Effect. The follow-up from Sashlo. Constant initiation. A double for Sadoy. 4 dead. Carnage in the river.
Yeah, that's they initiated better with Centaur. X blinked in, missed the call. He didn't even cast it, he just cancelled it. And Global on top of that, which is hard to fight right now against Global Silence, and Centaur having a Blink Dagger, plus Eclipse, plus Bane ulti. There's a lot of stuff to focus on in the fights for Vega.
Wow, and feeling right now like Effect have just been able to conglomerate all of this into one big, great teamfight advantage. With their ultis coming online, what's the response here for Vega? What's the next? What do you do over the next couple of minutes, or what do you try and do right now?
Oh, well, they need to get Shadow Fiend souls so they can fight. We already see a smoke coming out from them, and they want to pressure the enemy team because Luna doesn't have Eclipse. There's still Global Silence up, but they want to make a move. Right, there it is.
Here it is, on to Sashlo. They're going to get some right clicks as well, so a couple of raises, and he is not going to get out of that
Dunk.
one. That's right.
Woohoo! I think his name is Shaklo, actually.
Oh, I'm terrible
pronounced like that. I probably... Say it.
Oh, jump back maybe? There's the stun on the 2. Nice little combination. Not a ton of damage coming out from Roger, but it keeps them in place as G is maybe going to get ran down. They can't quite find it, though. Yeah, I'm terrible at pronouncing Russian stuff. I'm really sorry. I try my best. I'm just a poor pleb.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Exactly.
I'm not Russian, but I know some Russian. Всем привет.
I think we all know that one. It's the constant. But
yeah.
G, still a monster over here, building into the BKB. Are they going to walk up this hill? This seems very bold.
I hope not.
Okay.
Well, the shrine is on cooldown. Well, now Vega knows their ultis are on cooldown, at least a silencer. They have few big ultis, so they still want to fight. They want to force a fight. Oh, Dazzle. What is Dazzle doing?
They know where they are over here to the side. Seneko there as well as G. He's actually getting body block for a second, and there's the stun. The Fiend's Grip as well. They turn it back around. Oh, it's terrible for Vega. They lose 2. Maybe going to take down another Dichara. They drop down the Sentry Ward. Can't find him, though. Looks like they are going to be able to find Sioma, who will drop in. Now, that's a double kill for Funinj.
Wow, that's really bad positioning from Dazzle. He was running in front of his team, and they were separated in a fight, so that ended up as a disaster for Vega.
Really frustrating, I'm sure, and it just feels like every single initiation they go on, Effect have all of their ultis up. They've got everything in position. I mean, even Vega there had a sort of vision advantage because they spotted the ward placed down by Effect. It just didn't end up working out for them. Can Vega even really fight them at this point?
I don't think they can fight until the Shadowfin gets the BKB up. He's close to it, 1.3k away. So they have at least something to cancel the, let's say, global silence. And there's a lot of magical damage coming out from Effect at the moment, so he really needs it.
All right. Well, waiting for that to come up and online. Vega Squadron still trying to pressure, and right now we're getting into this spot again. Eclipse is down this time. Can they still take the fight without Eclipse?
Yeah, sure they can. They have a global silence up, Centaur ulti who has a 4-staff. They have double 4-staff actually on the side of Effect, and it's gonna be enough to control the game and just kite around them.
Does look like Vega realizing this. They're going to back off. They don't want to get caught, although G, not realizing where everybody is, they run right into him. There's the hoof stomp. Everything coming out, and G is gone. Sadoy finding another kill.
Wow, look at Sadoy, 507. And he has that Manta style up, plus Helm of the Dominator. I also saw that BS creep. I don't see it anymore. Can you ping it out?
I don't know where it went to. It looks like he might have... I don't know if he took something else over, but he might have another opportunity just to take over another creep. It looks like he's heading into the jungle. I pick one up, but they're all gone.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Weaver going for Diffusal Blade, has one right now. He just went all in with the damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
As far as I know, you can't anymore purge neither yourself nor your allies. I might be wrong. Maybe just one of those two.
Oh, Sioma, the stun comes in. Mag, the big initiation, though. Blade Mail as well. Oh my god, Sadoy alive on nothing. 15 HP. He decides to turn back around and run in. This man is crazy. Oh, wow. Double for him on 15 HP by the end. Oh my goodness.
They needed so little to kill them. At least 2 of them. That Blade Mail is just on top, really, on point.
He did more damage, the axe, than anybody else in that fight, and still they didn't find a kill. That's got to be so frustrating.
Shadowfiend working towards his BKB, and Axe has one in quick buy. That's what they need. I just need to check something for the Diffusal Blade.
No.
Be right back.
I mean, he still did end up going down there, and it sort of goes to show that you have this hero that is not very tanky at this stage in the game, and he's gone into the talent tree that gives him a little bit of extra strength for some more survivability there, but there's just too much damage coming out from the Effect team, and 4 to 17 God, it really hurts right now. It's 7,500 net worth lead, almost shooting towards that 10K net experience mark.
Yeah, it looks so promising for them during that first 5 minutes, but they couldn't, I don't know, control the advantage that they had on that Shadow Fin. They didn't maximize it, and the top lane was doing well. The X Blink Dagger came a bit later than the Centaurs, which cost them a few kills as well.
Well, you mentioned the BKB on G being a bit of a turning point. Do you still feel like that's the case at this point, or are Vega able to actually start to take 5-on-5 engagements here?
It's easier for them to fight with a BKB, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Luna has Alpha Wolf, Manta style, and Centaur is working towards all good initiation.
All right, yeah, the Fire Blast there. He's going to be alive for the moment. Roger finds Ditchia Ra, and they're going to get the Fiend Script off as well. Dazzle's in the area to throw out a Grave, so he is going to be fine for the moment, but Effect still large and in charge. They get the Nightmare. Ditchia is going to die from a right click from Bane. That's got to hurt. Now Mag as well in some trouble. They throw out the Lucent Beam. Triple kill for Afro Ninja. Oh, man, 26 stolen in at this point in the game. God, it hurts to be Vega right now.
Yeah, if you look at the Silencer, he was struggling so much, died once, he was behind 30 CS. And now, look at it. Well, it's the team effects, team fight ability. Just look at all those heroes. It's really hard to counter it right now. Vega lacks items to counter it.
Well, really impressive display so far from Effect. I got to give a shout out to somebody I was casting with earlier, Trempax, who was telling me that he thought this Effect team was going to be the one to watch out for so far in the playoffs, the one that he felt like was probably going to be able to make it the distance. Based off of how they're playing, is this a team that you need to be worried about if you're Empire or Team Spirit looking at this match?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, Vega doesn't seem so strong at the moment. Seems like they have, I don't know, how do you call it? Maybe internal conflicts. I don't know what's going on. They look strong as a team, but they don't seem to be winning the games.
Yeah.
If you take, for example, that VP had some problems with internet connection, one of those two teams probably wouldn't be here, judging how good Team VP is.
Yeah, I'm with you there, definitely. And it reminds me of that initiation that came out from the Axe. It was like the perfect initiation, bringing everybody solo, but the rest of the team wasn't there, and it just doesn't feel like they're all on that same page, making the decisions together. There's something else in the works. But Sadoy, the slow siege of this Tier 3 tower, feels like he can just sort of do this with no real regard for... I mean, you deny this at 38 HP, right? There's no reason to let him hit that.
Yeah, he will deny it right now, probably. There's no reason not to deny it. We'll just wait if they come, and they will.
Oh my god, he got the tower.
That was a bait.
All right, baited in, trying to take a good fight now, maybe. Well, Snakeo gonna take some damage as well.
Luna still has an Aegis, and Global Silence is up. Pretty much everything is ready on Team Effect. There it is.
Jesus, that's a real problem. They have the Fiend Script as well. Ditchia Ra gonna drop double, triple. Afro Ninja taking no prisoners. It is a good initiation for Magus, trying to take them all down, but not gonna happen. Maybe gonna be able to hop out of that one. 4-step Herky Pike, able to get the Nightmare to keep the damage off of him. G trying to man up Sadoy. That is not going to happen. Well, maybe. All right, no, one more pop from
That
Sasha.
was a dieback.
That's GG. Lacoste, what the hell do you say after that game?
Silencer, man. You can't team fight against Silencer in the early stages. Minute 10 to 20 minutes, so hard to fight, especially with all those stuns and controlling heroes like Bane, Centaur, and if they had support Sven. That's not what you see often. So kudos to them for trying it out and actually succeeding.
I mean, really, what a performance. You mentioned it there, and it sort of can fly by the wayside, but 10-1-10 on this Silencer after being down. How much CS was it in the mid lane?
He was 30 CS behind Shadowfin at one point.
What a terrible, what a great performance by FNJ. Well, considering what you saw in this game, what's the prescription? What's the answer for Vega Squadron? How do they respond now in the next game?